So page number 113, page number 113. Verses 60 onwards, verses 60 onwards. Page number 113, Act 4, Scene 1, verses 60 onwards. After explaining all these about the pig, about the cat, and the bagpiper, and Shylock says, so can I give no reason, nor I will not, more than a large hate and a certain loathing I bear Antonio, that I follow thus. A losing suit against him, are you unsafe? So can I give no reason, nor I will not. So I don't want to give any reason. Or you can say that I don't like to give a reason. More than a large hate. Large means a deep rooted, stored up, large, lodging, water lodging areas. So a large hatred means a hatred that has been stored up for a long time. Deep-rooted hatred and a certain loathing. Loathing also is hatred. I bear Antonio that I follow thus, a losing suit against him. Are you unsafe? So my filing a legal suit. Legal suit is legal case against Antonio. My filing a lawful case against Antonio asking for justice is this. A deep-rooted revenge has been built up in my mind. That means I have reasons to hate Antonio. I have reasons to hate Antonio. Or I don't like Antonio at all. So that is the reason I want to take revenge. So till then we have done last class. Now we will begin. Bassanio. This is no answer, thou unfeeling man, to excuse the current of thy cruelty. This is no answer, thou unfeeling man, to excuse the current of thy cruelty. Current is outpouring. So Bassanio says, no, I'm not satisfied with the explanation you gave about these three things. This is only an outflow of your cruelty. You are cruel. You are merciless. You lack the great virtue of mercy in you. And in order to hide that, the flow of your cruelty, you are trying to give some reasons. I am not happy with this. Shylock, I am not bound to please thee with my answer. So when Bassanio said that he is not happy with the answer, Shylock gave the reason for taking revenge against Antonio, saying that you are trying to hide your cruelty. Then Shylock replies to Bassanio saying, okay, that's fine. If you are not happy with my reasoning, I have no problem, because I am not bound to satisfy you. I have given the answer that is mine. I have explained my stand. Whether you like it or not, or you are happy with it, that is not my concern. Now Bassanio asks a counter question. Shylock had said about likes and dislikes. When you like something, there are reasons for liking something. There are reasons for hating something. When we don't like something, we hate them. So now Bassanio asks a counter question. Do all men kill the things they do not love? Do all men kill the things that they do not love? So I don't love something. When I don't love something, do I kill that thing? Do all men kill the things they do not love? Okay, I agree with you. Bassanio tells Shylock, I agree with you that you like some things and you dislike some things. Just because you don't like something, do you kill that person or a thing? Shylock, hates any man the thing he would not kill. Hates any man the thing he would not kill. Is there any man who will not kill the thing that he truly hates? Is there any man who will not kill the thing that he truly hates? That is, Shylock says, if you really hate something, you will try to destroy that thing. If you hate somebody, really, you'll try to put an end to it. You'll try to put an end to that person. Therefore, you try to remove or do away with the things or people whom you do not love. Bassanio, every offense is not a hate at first. Every offense, that is every crime, is not a hate at first. At first means in the beginning. It does not start with a hate. Does not start with a hate. Hate is developed with the process after some time. Shylock, what? Wouldst thou have a serpent sting thee twice? Wouldst thou, that means would you allow a serpent to sting thee twice? You allow a snake to sting you only once. Once a snake stings you, what will you do? You kill the snake and finish it off. Don't allow the snake to go free. So if you allow the snake to go, it will give you, it will bite you again. It will sting you twice. Don't allow the snake to sting you for the second time. First time itself must finish it off. Antonio is like a snake for me. He has stung me. He has called me a dog for no reason. He has given money without taking any interest. I have been taking interest and I am living on that. And Antonio was going ahead giving money without interest. So when he does like that, what should I do? I must act immediately. I should not wait. Antonio, I pray you, think you question with the Jew, you may as well go stand upon the beach and bid the main flood wait his usual height. You may as well use question with the wolf, why he hath made the ewe bleat for the lamb. You may as well forbid the mountain pines to wag their high tops and go to make no noise when they are threatened with the gusts of heaven. You may as well do anything most hard as seek to soften that than which what is harder, his Jewish heart. Therefore, I do beseech you, make no more offers, use no further means, but with all brief and plain conveniency, let me have judgment and the Jew his will. So now Antonio, the hero of the drama, he speaks. Now Antonio speaks up after listening to the consoling words of Duke. Duke trying to convince Shylock to show mercy, and Shylock refusing to show mercy, and Shylock explaining the reason for his hatred towards Antonio, and Bassanio trying to argue with the Jew, saying that he is wrong. Antonio speaks up. So this speech of Antonio is very, very important. So try to pay attention to it. This is also answer to your workbook assignment number 4. Workbook assignment of Act 4, assignment number 4. So this assignment, the extract is often asked in exams. I pray you, think you question with the Jew, you may as well go stand upon the beach and bid the main flood wait his usual height. In the previous passage, we have seen how Shylock argues giving examples, 3 examples. The example of the gaping pig, the example of the cat, and example of the bagpiper. So he gave 3 examples and argued saying why he is hating Antonio. Now Antonio is giving 3 reasons, 3 examples, and he will say why you should not expect mercy from Shylock. If you understand this point, you will easily answer the questions. I will repeat. In the previous passage, we have seen Shylock giving 3 examples. The example of a pig, example of a cat, and he gives the 3rd example, the bagpiper singing. So giving these 3 examples, he proves why he has to take revenge on Antonio, or why he should hate Antonio. Now Antonio is replying Shylock, giving another 3 examples why you should not expect Shylock to show mercy. It is not possible to stop Shylock from being cruel. He can do these things, but he cannot change Shylock. You are able to change so many difficult things he can change in the world. In spite of all that, you are not able to change Shylock and his attitude. So we will see in detail. This one is very important. I pray you, think you question with the Jew. You question with the Jew means you are arguing with the Jew. Who is the Jew here, Shylock? You are arguing with the Jew. I pray you. That is, I am praying you means I pray you with Bassanio. Bassanio, my friend, you are trying to plead with the Jew. You are trying to ask a favor from the Jew. He will not show you any such favor. Why? You may as well go stand upon the beach and bid the main flood wait his usual height. Flood. What is flood? There is a flood means it's a high wave. High wave. We call it ebb and flow of the wave. Ebb and flow of the wave. Ebb and flow. We have studied earlier. EBB, ebb. Ebb and flow. Ebb is receding. Water recedes, goes back to the sea. That is ebb. Flow is water comes out of the sea. Water is coming out of the sea. That is flow. Water is going back to receding to the sea. That is a wave. So ebb and flow. So the waves keep coming up. Huge waves will come up, then it will go back. So you may as well go stand upon the beach. Go and stand near the beach. Look at the sea. Sea having huge waves. And wind means say, you ask the main flood weight is usual height. So this is the sea, suppose this is the sea. And there is huge waves coming up. You stand here and say, oh, my dear flow, my dear flood, or my dear wave. I am addressing the wave. These are the waves. These are the waves. I am asking the waves. I am standing near the I am standing near the beach and I am looking at the wave and says, oh my dear wave, please reduce your height. You are coming up so much. Your height is so much, I am getting frightened. Please reduce your height. Make it low. If the wave becomes slow, then there will not be any flood. Will the wave listen to you? If you tell the wave to soften, to reduce the height, to become less powerful, will the wave obey you? No. No. Wave has its own way of doing. Depending on the pressure in the sea, depending on the flow of the wind, depending on the current in the sea, current means the flow. The waves will keep coming as it likes. So you just go there and stand and say, my dear wave, please reduce your height. Will it reduce? No. So you may as well go stand up on the beach and with the main flood weight his usual height. This is number one. This is number one. So he gives three examples. What is the second one? You may as well use question with the wolf why he hath made the ewe bleed for the lamb. EWE. EWE is a female sheep. Female sheep. EWE. EWE. It is pronounced as a U. The pronunciation is a U. U. Not Eve. It's pronounced as a U. U. So, who is a U? U is a female sheep. Female sheep. We have studied in last year and this year also about Jason and golden fleece, you remember now? What is the male of a sheep is called? The male of a sheep is called what? Ram. Ram. R-A-M, Ram. So, you is a female sheep. Male sheep is Ram, female sheep is you. So, what happened to the wolf? You know what is wolf? An wolf is a ferocious animal, a dangerous animal which eats other animals. Eats other animals. It's a carnivore, eats flesh. So, the wolf goes and attacks the small lamb. Lamb is a small. L-A-M-B. Lamb. M-A-M-B. Lamb is a bacha. Memna. Memna. That is a small lamb. I think he said Memna. Okay. So, the lamb is being, the B is silent. B is silent, therefore we pronounce as a lamb. Lamb. You don't say lamb, it is a lamb. Lamb is a young sheep. So the young sheep is being attacked by wolf. So the wolf attacks the young sheep. When the young sheep, the young bacha is attacked, then what happens? Mother cries. Mother cries for the young one which is being attacked by the wolf. Okay. So wolf attacks the lamb, the young sheep. So mother has lost his child. So the female sheep, it will be crying. That is bleat. Bleat, B-L-E-A-T, bleat is sound made by the sheep. You may as well use question with the wolf why he has made the you bleat for the lamb. So you go and ask the wolf, my dear wolf, why did you make the you to bleat for its young one? That means, why did you attack the young lamb? Why do you trouble the mother of the lamb? Why do you make the mother of the sheep to cry? Will the wolf answer you? Will it? Will the wolf give you answer? Yes, yes, I am very sorry. I made the mother of the sheep to cry. I am very sorry. Hereafter I will not do. Will the wolf answer like that? No. So this is a second example. Now I am going to give one more example, the third example. You may as well forbid the mountain pines to wag their high tops and to make no noise when they are threatened with the gust of heaven. Gust is a wind. Gust is a heavy wind. G-U-S-T, gust. Gust is heavy wind. So when there is a huge breeze, there is a heavy wind, what happens? The pine trees, have you seen pine trees? Must have seen. If not, you have plenty of pine trees from the Himalayas. Himalayas are known for its pine trees. In foreign countries like Belgium, France, all these countries have got plenty of pines. Beautiful trees with long leaves stooping down, and some of them have got cones also. So, okay, you study biology about the pine trees. Yeah. Sorry, in zoology, of course. In biology, you studying about pine trees and structure. So, when there is a strong wind, what happens? The pine trees are tall trees, and the top of the pine tree, in the wind, it will be shaking. The top of the tree will be shaking. When the pine trees are which were very tall, it shakes its head, but is up in the sky. So one pine tree scrubs with the other. One pine tree, the top of one pine tree will crush, will touch the other one. Touch the other one. So there will be friction. There will be friction. One touching the other. As a result, there will be noise. So it's high imagination. Quite. So he calls it wagging its tail. Who wags a tail normally is a dog. The animals. Dog wags its tail. It will keep on wagging its tail. So the poet imagines the topmost part of the pine tree as the tail, and the tree keeps wagging it, shaking it when there is a heavy breeze. So when the pine trees are shaking their heads, they will be colliding with each other, and there will be certain friction and sounds will be made. So now what do? You may as well forbid the mountain pines to wave their high tops. Forbid means stop. Forbid means to stop or block. You are telling the pine trees, no, 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 no. Don't shake your heads. See, in the wind, your heads are being shaken. Your heads are being touched. So there's a friction and sound is made. I am annoyed by the sound. Please don't wag your head. Don't make noise. Shupra, keep quiet. Just remain silent. Suppose you say, will the pine tree listen to you? No. So that is what these are the three examples Antonio is giving. So you ask the plant to reduce its height. You go and stand near the beach, look at the waves, ask the waves to reduce its height. Will it reduce? No. You ask the wolf why you are attacking the young sheep and making the female sheep to cry. Will the wolf answer you or stop doing it? Or you ask the pine trees why they are shaking their tops and making noise, and you command them to keep quiet. Will they stop shaking? No. So, you may as well do anything most hard. So all these three are very hard things. All these three things are very, very hard, impossible things. And there may be harder things. There may be things which are still more difficult. You may try to achieve that. So, you may as well do anything most hard or seek to soften that than which what is harder is to wish hard. So you may try even harder things. This is hard. All these three things are very difficult things, difficult tasks, very hard to achieve. And there may be certain things which are harder than these. You may try to do that, try to achieve that, and you may succeed. But you will not succeed in softening the hard heart of this Jewish fellow called Shiloh. See, that's it. Perfect. You understand? Very well. If your passage comes, you must be able to answer it. Did you understand? I'll explain again if you do not understand. You tell me afterwards. So, these three are impossible things or difficult things. You may achieve it. You may try some more things which are harder. You may succeed. If you succeed in doing all these things also, you will not succeed in softening Shylock and his cruel heart. So Shylock used three examples, that of the pig, cat and the bagpiper, to say that I do as I like, as I desire. He cannot answer. Now, Antonio says, you may succeed in doing all these things, even then you cannot soften the heart of Shylock. That's it. So you may as well do anything most hard and seek to soften that than which what is harder. His Jewish heart, therefore, I do beseech you, make no more of it, use no further means, but with all grief and pain conveniency, let me have judgment, and the Jew is filled. So even if you succeed in doing all these things, you cannot soften the heart of Shylock. Therefore, what should you do? I do beseech you, I pray you, make no more offense. He is telling Bassanio, make no more offense. Make no more offense means don't attempt to make any more bids. Don't pray for any favors. Don't ask for any benefits from Shylock. Don't request anything from Shylock. It will not be done. Use no further means. Don't try any other method. Enough. But with all brief and plain conveniency. Brief and plain conveniency. The meaning is given there. Simple. No fancy words. Undecorated. So, all brief and plain convenience means undecorated. Let me be plain. Let me be plain. Without using big words, I'll make it very clear. Don't ask for anything more. Let me have judgment and the Jew is will. Let the judge give the judgment. And let Shylock have his will. His will. That is, whatever the bond I have signed and I have gone wrong according to that, let the judge give the judgment and Shylock let him have justice. I have no problem. Because there is no fun in trying to plead mercy from Shylock. So he is advising Bassanio not to make any more attempt in pleading mercy from Shylock. Bassanio, for thy 3,000 ducats here is 6. So Bassanio does not stop in spite of Antonio very clearly pointing out to Bassanio how Shylock lacks mercy or how cruel he is. He is more cruel than the wave. He is more cruel than the wolf. He is more cruel than the powers of the nature. Therefore, don't ask me for anything, let me have judgment. In spite of that, Bassanio does not stop because Bassanio feels so much for his friend. It was for his sake Antonio borrowed the money from Shylock and now he is in trouble. So Bassanio says, for thy 3,000 ducats here is 6. Suppose we give you 3,000 ducats. You take 6,000 ducats. I'll give double of that. So Shylock says, if every ducat in 6,000 ducats were in 6 parts and every part a ducat, I would not draw them. I would have my wall. So Shylock is not an ordinary man. So he says, you are offering me double of it. No, I don't want the double of it. I don't want the triple of it. The triple. No, I don't want anything. If every ducat in 6,000 ducats were in 6 parts, so 6,000 ducats are in 6 parts. That means every part has a 1,000 ducats. And every part a ducat. I would not draw them. I would have my own. That is to say, if you are going to offer me double or triple or whatever it may be, don't try to tempt me. I'm not going to yield. I'm not worried about how much money you are able to give. My concern is my bond and I want to have my bond. Duke, how shalt thou hope for mercy, rendering none? So Duke is asking a valid question. The Duke is asking a very valid question. How shalt thou hope for mercy, rendering none? You are saying that I should be merciful. I should implement justice. But you are not merciful. You are not showing mercy to Antonio. When you are not merciful, how can you say, show me mercy, give me mercy? How can you say? Shylock, what judgment shall I dread? Doing no wrong, you have among you many a purchased estate. You have among you many a purchased slave, which, like your asses and your dogs and mules, you use in abject and in slavish parts because you bought them. Shall I say to you, let them be free, marry them to your heirs, while sweat they under burdens. Let their beds be made as soft as yours, and pallets, let their pallets be seasoned with such wines. You will answer, the slaves are ours. So do I answer you, the pound of flesh which I demand of him is dearly bought, is mine, and I will have it. If you deny me, fie upon your law. There is no force in the decrees of Venice. I stand for judgment. Answer, shall I have it? Upon my power, Duke says, upon my power I may dismiss the spot, unless Bellario, a learned doctor, whom I have sent for, to determine this, come here today. This is also is a little difficult to follow, not as difficult as we have done so far. So when the Duke says that when you are not merciful, when you are not ready to show mercy to others, how can you ask for mercy? How do you expect others to show mercy to you? Others means it can mean the Duke, also it can mean God. You are pleading mercy from me. You are pleading mercy from your God when you pray. But when you are not merciful, when you are not kind to others, how do you expect others to show kindness to you? Then Shylock says, what judgment shall I dread? What judgment shall I dread? Dread is fear. Dreadful night, fearful night. Dread is fear. What judgment shall I dread? Doing no wrong. Shylock says, why should I fear judgment? You are saying that I am not merciful and I am asking for mercy. No, no. I am not asking for any extra favor. I am not afraid of any judgment because I have done nothing wrong. I am asking only what is due. I am asking for what I am supposed to get, that's all. You have among you many a purchased slave, which, like your asses and your dogs and mules, so asses, mules, dogs. And here it is slave. So you are quite familiar with the slave trade. In those days, it was permissible to buy slaves. The rich people who had money, they could purchase a slave and make the slave, either it's a male slave or female slave, to work for you, to work in your field, to do all menial jobs for you, and they will remain with you. You can buy them for this many years, or you can buy for lifelong. You have to only give them food to eat, then they will work for you. So Shylock is making a comparison of two items, two things. One is the domesticated animals. These are animals used for various menial jobs, asses, mules, and dogs. So you have donkeys, mules, and dogs working in your field. They are serving you. But you have also got slaves. You have also got slaves, they are also working for you. How do you treat them? You are treating them equally. You are treating them equally. You are treating slaves. Who are the slaves? They are human beings. Slaves are human beings. You are treating them like animals. Just like you treat your donkeys, mules and dogs, you are treating the slaves, you are human beings. You have among you many a purchased slave, which like your asses and your dogs and mules, you use in object and in slavish parts. Object means me. Object is me. Object. Mean. What's another word for mean? Cheap. 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 So you use for cheap and slavish work. Cheap and slavish work. These slaves. You use your donkeys, mules, and dogs. You also use the slaves for cheap works and servile task means very ordinary, very cheap jobs. Because you bought them. Shall I say to you, why do you give them this kind of work? Why do you make them to do all this kind of mean jobs? Because you bought them. You buy your donkeys, you buy your mules, you buy your dogs, also you buy your slaves. Just because you have bought them, you say that I have full right on them. I have full rights on the slaves because I have bought the slaves with my money. Therefore, you make them to do the work which you like. Because you bought them, shall I say to you, let them be free, marry them to your heirs. Why sweat they under burdens? Let their beds be made as of soft as yours, and let their palates be seasoned with such wines. And now Shylock is saying, okay, I will propose you something. You are making them to work hard. I will make a proposal to you. Why don't you make them free? They are human beings. Slaves are human beings. Why don't you make them free beings? So, shall I say to you, let them be free, marry them to your heirs. Heirs are those who inherit you, that is your children. You marry them to your children and children's children, grandchildren. You marry them to your children and your grandchildren. Make them free.